The question that it asked up there was, do you want to do any of those? If you do, astronomy is indeed something that helps you understand the world. We're going to see where Pluto is. Have you ever heard of the Kuiper Belt? The Kuiper Belt. It's long away, and it looks like a swarm of long planets, and that's where the action today is, where the discoveries of the dwarf planets are. I'm going to talk more about dwarf planets in case you didn't remember from 2006, but let's keep going. How far is Pluto? There's many ways to understand it. First, you know 187,000 miles is the speed of light. I know you know that. But did you know that in 1 second, the speed of light goes around our planet 7 times? I find that easier to remember than that particular number. Now, to help you begin working on distance, it takes Earth 8.6 minutes to get the light from the sun. And what does the word astronomical unit mean? They got lots of words that don't really care what they mean, except the fact they're really useful to scientists. An astronomical unit for the Earth is 1, which means that's how far we are from the sun. Go down, keep further. Uranus, 19. It's 19 times the distance of Earth from the sun. Pluto, 39 times. And if you notice, you suddenly went on that slide from minutes to hours. And before we finish, we'll be to days. How are we going to get to days? We already got to Pluto only in hours, light hours. How many people know what the Oort cloud is? The Oort cloud. See that little small circle on your right? Well, excuse me, on the left. That's the Kuiper Belt, where they are discovering hundreds of dwarf planets. And that's where Pluto lives. But the Oort cloud includes all of the Kuiper Belt in the inner circle. And that bigger outer circle suddenly becomes much further away. So those are all dwarf planets. And as I was saying, once you get to the Oort cloud, you're actually going to get to yours. First stop, Pluto Chiron. Pluto Chiron. Wait a second. We're talking about Pluto, aren't we? Why am I saying Pluto Chiron? Actually, there's this moon. It's called Chiron. There's Pluto. Does Chiron circle Pluto? No! How can it be a moon of Pluto if it doesn't circle Pluto? They are binary. They circle each other. So those are mostly astronomy terms that we've been talking about, and the translation. But I'm also an astrologer. Pluto's the great revealer. It's called sometimes the planet of creative destruction, transformation. I can tell you a lot of myths, but not in less than 5 minutes or so. This is actually showing you how they are not. But it tells you another fact. We know that Earth's moon affects our tides. We know, but most of us accept that we're 90-some% water. And if the Earth's moons affects our tides, it could affect our emotions as well. Now, going back to Pluto, you've got Pluto in Chiron. And in our next slide, we're talking about the heart of Pluto, because Pluto's heart pulls the underground seas beneath Pluto's beating heart. Yes. Does Pluto's heart beat? Something is keeping it warm. Currently, today, our scientists are projecting not a definite, scientists don't like to use definites, but they're using a possibility, real possibility, that that subsurface ocean is actually moving. It's not just frozen ice. And isn't it interesting how Pluto has a heart, has a right lobe and a left lobe? And I can tell you a lot of stuff about that. Unfortunately, not in this time period. He's already trying to tell me to speed up. So there's the Taco Bell. But Sedna, wait a second, pretty back there, you saw Sedna was X days away, light days. Sedna has such a great heart that she looked around herself in the empty blackness and thought, if this is going to be my new home, I don't want to be alone. So she turned with each of her broken, icy, broken fingers, and they became a whale, a seal. All the animals of the sea were created. The reason for the map is she was Intuit or an Alaskan myth and mythology. So Sedna roams the deep, the cold, forgotten deep. The last time she visited Earth was the Ice Ages. Going back to the Oort cloud, and you can see how all of those planets are coming in at angles. And with the red light, I'm going to thank each of you for taking a trip without the travel hassle, learning. And I thank you.